We're gonna have a quick walk in the range. Or if you want, how about we go IKEA?
Why you want to go IKEA? I'm not dressed for IKEA.
How do you need to be dressed for IKEA?
Huh?
How do you need to be dressed for IKEA?
I'm not dressed comfortably. I'm dressed like, oh yeah, quick store.
Halloween.
Where's the basket?
Oh, all of the Christmas stuff is out. This is so early for Christmas though.
Look, it's as tall as you.
Mean.
Look. Oh, no, stand right next to it.
I'm gonna have got the strap.
Oh, no.
Besties.
It's as tall as you.
Almost.
I didn't include your face.
It's fine.
Oh. Look at this.
What are you gonna do with it? These are big vases, aren't they? Yeah, long vase. The colors of fall are here. Look how beautiful these are. The burgundies, oranges, the creams. This is so cute. The perfect match. We could put it next to the candles and use these to light up the candles. Should we get one for the room as well?
Yeah, let's get it.
It has golden, so it's called Night Lights Canvas. But it's so pretty. You can see the impressionism influence in it, but it has gold highlights. That's very cute. A coffee a day keeps the grumpies away. They have very cute art though. Oh, look at that.
Very
If you have a very
abstract
modern type of house, that would be very pretty. They have more of these. This is a bigger canvas as well. And then this is 3D art. Yeah, it's 3D art.
Wow. 5 ways actually.
Yes, so quick outfit of the day in the mirror. And they have so many mirrors here. Look at that. Different styles for different vibes. That is massive. Look at the size of this. This is peak of seasonal decorations here in the range. Rows and rows and rows of seasonal decoration for Christmas. This is what our shopping basket looks like. Let's go, Chills. The Hello Kitty. Okay, so we learned about the ways the scriptures can be interpreted. So they can have an allegoric meaning, a moral meaning, a spiritual meaning, and a literature meaning. Then now we are going to be learning about the structure, physical and metaphysical, of the world that Dante has created. So if I zoom in over here, we see in the structure, the convictions or scientific interpretations of the world that the people knew around at that time in this opera. So the main idea of the medieval culture is reflected in this opera, where we have the continuation of the physical world and the ultra-physical world, which is based on the Christian faith that was known at the time. And we can see that the way the universes have been laid out, it kind of follows the scientific discoveries of that time about the world. For example, the universe's center is the Earth, which was proved wrong by Galileo, I think, way later on. So we're talking about 1300. The Earth at this point in time is at the center of the universe. Second, at the center of the Earth, which is the place which is the furthest away from God, that's where the Inferno is. And at the opposite side of the habitated world, there is the mountain of the Purgatory. Around the Earth, which is again the center, there is the 9 concentric circles of heaven, which is based on the Ptolemaic astronomy. Then we have around these 9 circles around Earth, where there is the 10th circle, which is the eternal paradise, where God and the angels stay. Then we learn also about the fact that this construction is dictated by the biblical beliefs from the Christian theologies, aka the rebellion of Lucifer against God and the angels that follow Lucifer. So the principle is this eternal drama of the conflict between good and evil. So bene e male. In fact, when Lucifer, this is according to Christian theology again, Lucifer was thrown out of paradise and he was thrown into the voragine, it's like the funnel of hell. This was created with the purpose of holding him and confining him at the center of the known Earth, physical Earth, in the Australian or Austral, I think, what is it called? Hemisphere Australe, the opposite hemisphere. Let me just Google it. Hemisfero Australian hemisphere, I think is called Australian hemisphere. Is the southern hemisphere in English they call it. In Italian it's Hemisfero Australe. So where am I? So when he was thrown into the southern hemisphere, as a consequence of the fall, the Earth on the southern hemisphere retract himself to form a protuberance on the opposite side in the north hemisphere. And this is to avoid the contact with Lucifer. So a mass of the same southern hemisphere, to avoid the contact with Lucifer, retract himself from the ocean, making a mountain at the opposite side of the inhabited area, which is Jerusalem. And this mountain is a mountain of purgatory that leads to the terrestrial paradise or heaven, where the first human beings, aka Adam and Eve, are living after the original sin. The Earth Queen, therefore, quindi, is at the center of the universe, and around Earth there is the 9 spheres of heaven, and above that the empyrean, which is the eternal heaven. And now we are going to go on to the next section, which is Inferno. This is introduction. This book is really good. If I only could get the physical copy, but I think this can be found only in Italy. It shows the structure of heaven. We can see this is Jerusalem, Collone della Grazia, so hills. This is Selva Oscura, aka allegoric interpretation of the sins, the woodlands of the sin. We have Dante and Virgilio that go into the door to hell. That door leads to the Antinferno, where we have the fiume Acheronte that delimits Antinferno to Inferno, aka this is the Antinferno. Then we have Primo Cerchio, they have second circle, third circle, so Cerchio 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is part of the Incontinenti. Then we have circle 7, part of the violence, and this is split into 3 areas. And then we have also the 8th circle, which is split into 10 areas, chiamatele bolge, they're called bolgia, which is a fraudulence. Then we have a pozzo, it's like a well. And then we have 9th circle, split into 4 areas. And then we have at the bottom of the 9th circle, Lucifer. Oh, this is my favorite sentence. Per me si va nella città dolente, per me si va nell'eterno dolore, per me si va tra la perduta gente. Lasciate ogni speranza voi che entrate. It means we are going to the painful city, we are going to the eternal pain, we are going to the lost people. Leave on every hope, O you that enter. And then we're going to talk about the structure of Inferno. So we're going to have the different gironi that have a different sin that is described in them. And then we will talk about the argument of the sin of Virgilio. And then we have a very beautiful scheme of the contents for each circle. So we have canto first, so section first of the Inferno. We have the place, the sinners, the sin, and then the characters, main characters. So for example, in the first cantica, first canto, we have Selva Oscura. There is no sinners or sin, but we have Dante, Le Fiere, and Virgilio. Then we have Canto 2, again La Selva Oscura, we have Dante and Virgilio. Canto 3, we have The Door to Hell and Antinferno, and we have Ignavi, Le Anime dei Morti Destinate a Inferno. And we have Caronte, who is going to take everybody away with the boat. And then we're going to go on. And then we're going to start with Canto 1, which is this area, Selva Oscura, Porta, Antinferno, Luogo, Tempo, Personaggi. And then we have the summary. And then it's gonna go into reading it. And this book is so amazing because it has description, very detailed description. I'm gonna read through them. And I'm gonna try to take some notes and put them in here. Okay, updates. I have started working on Inferno. So again, my favorite quote. This is Cantico 1. Cantico 1 of Inferno, Canto 3, verse 1 to 3 and 9. So the verse 1 to 3 is: per me si va nella città dolente, per me si va nell'eterno dolore, per me si va tra la perduta gente. Lasciate ogni speranza voi che entrate. Moving on, we talk about the structure of hell. So as we learned before, in this period, the earth is at the center of the universe and everything is around it. We have already learned all of this. The hell is a massive funnel, upside down funnel, up until the center of the earth. The funnel of hell is preceded by a sort of like an entrance area, which is the anti-inferno, where the angels that did not pick a side, they were neutral against the fight between Lucifer and God, are confined, and also the human beings that cannot make any decision between good and evil, called Ignavi, they are confined there as well, that in real life they couldn't make a decision, therefore they are even rejected by hell itself. Once you go after Acheronte, the fiume, the river, you enter in the first cerchio, which is the limbo. Here all of the kids that had died without baptism and didn't get the chance to meet God, died. Here they don't go through any physical torments, but they are missing the spiritual torment of wish of God, which I don't understand, because technically aren't kids meant to be like the most innocent souls? So why should they be suffering in any way, irrespective of whether they have had baptism or not? But for another time. Next section is where the actual hell starts. So we have 9 concentric circles. We learn that the way the circles are organized is inspiration from Aristotle, Cicerone, and San Tommaso. The sins, or like the punishment for the sins, they're classified in 2 areas: greediness and evil. Evil in violence and fraud. So from the 2nd to the 6th circle is the greed, which is 5 circles. So it's a very big section of the hell. These are people that directed their love to people, things, but in uncontrolled manner, we can say. 7th circle is the violence, which are divided in 3 areas. 8th circle, fraudulence. So there's 2 types of fraudulence, 8 and 9 circle. They're both fraudulence, but 8th circle is fraudulence that committed fraud against people that didn't trust them, and that is divided in 10 areas called bolge, le malabolge, which are basically 10 pits, concentric pits in the rocks that are connected by rock bridges. The 9th circle is fraudulence as well, but this time is fraud against people that trusted them. And this is in a like permafrost from the river Cochito, which is then frozen by the 6 wings of Lucifer. This circle is divided in 4 zones as well. So we have zone 1, La Caina, zone 2, Lantenora, zone 3, La Tolomea, and zone 4, La Giudecca. Judecea, maybe? La Judecea. I think it's Judecea. And then last area is where Bruto, Cassio, and Judah, which are the 3 biggest traitors from like Bible and civil story, they are eaten by Lucifer itself, by his 3 mouths, so 1 each mouth. And we notice also through this reading that there is the use of contrapasso, which is basically the punishment matches the sins that were committed. It's either a simile or the opposition. So an analogy or an opposition. If the sinner was greedy, he's going to have, for example, internal greed, and he's going to stuff himself to death in the hell, something like that. So the sin and the punishment is connected. Themes in hell, obviously, the sin. The whole cantica is a journey towards the liberation from evil, and Inferno is the initial moment of this journey, called Itinerarium Mentis in Deum, which is journey of the mind towards God. And the central theme is the journey, the painful journey from sin, the descent into the world, the underworld, where the light is gone, the deprivation from divine light, the learning of the direct learning of the sin, the painful punishments, and how to get it out of that punishment. So the whole cantica centralizes itself into the representation of evil and its consequences. So once you have learnt the evil, then you can find your way out of it. You work towards purgatory and then towards paradise. Then we have human being as the protagonist. So Dante, despite being himself in the world of the dead, he is there with his own body. So that means his body feels the humanity, such as the fear and the anxiety. Next, he talks about politics as well. So he reflects again on whatever his political beliefs were at the time. So we have the lalupa, so the wolf, the female wolf, which is the unsatiable avidity, so greed, that is ruining the society, and it's in everybody's heart. Fourth theme is Virgilio, which is the poet that's going to accompany Dante between his journey from hell to purgatory, and he is known as the instrument for God. So he's the way, he's the mean to the way. I think that's what you say it. He is basically this instrument used by God to get Dante through his journey, according to Dante. And then we start with Cantica 1. And that is split, the whole canto is split in, from verse 1 to 136 is split into 4 zones, or 4 areas, distinct areas. Some minor characteristics, so time, place, characters, sins, and punishment. But we're gonna go to the summary. Verse 1 to 30, it's talking about Dante that gets lost in the woodland, the dark woodland, and this is the allegory of the man victim of the sin. Then verse 31 to 60 talks about the meeting with the 3 animals. So the lynx, the first one is the lynx, then we have a lion, and then the third one is a female wolf. And this is an allegory for the temptation and the seduction of the sin. Verse 61 to 90 explores the meeting with Virgilio, and Virgilio being symbol of the reason is going to guide Dante towards the good. Verse 91 to 136 is the prophecy of the VLLO. So basically the allegory of the hope of the restorer of moral and civil. So this person basically is going to help them with knowledge, love, and virtue to get rid of the sins, of the temptation of the sin. And yeah, Dante, knowing that Beatrice is going to help him out towards the end, after purgatory, he's convinced by Virgilio to follow him and forget the hills illuminated by the lights, but to follow Dante. So basically Virgilio is telling Dante, if you were to go towards the hill that's illuminated, it's gonna be the easy way, and there is no easy way in life. You have to go through the hardship, so you have to go through this difficult journey so you can understand the pain and what comes after the pain, which is the good and hope and salvation. So hesitantly Dante just follows Virgilio through this journey. Then my battery is going to die soon, so I'm gonna just be very quick. So then I started working on the book itself. So the way I have organized it is this one bookmark, Canto 1. So if I bring it down, I have written in pencil the translation. Why is this tilted? Let me straighten it. I have written in pencil the translation for each cantica next to it, and I'm reading the commentary on the tablet. And if I don't understand something, I'm going to just probably put some notes like this, or tape them up maybe. But that's about it. That's it for today. I haven't done too much. I am going to leave Dante for the day, but I'm gonna start working on this book. Apparently it's a very fallish book, If We Were Villains. This is the blurb. So I think this guy gets imprisoned for a murder that maybe he may or may not have committed, and the detective that put him in the prison is retiring, and he wants to know what actually happened. So the main character goes through his journey. It's not thickly written, so I think it might be okay. Might be able to get through very quickly. But it's meant to be a very gothic type of book. It says here, like Donna Tartt's The Secret History, Emil Rayo's sparkling debut is a richly layered story of love, friendship, and obsession. Yeah, I'll have to see. But I'm ready with my notes here. And then I have my pens and then a notebook for some notes. Oh, and also have created these pages for understanding of the character. So we have main character and secondary character sheets. I have also main character physical description, and then I have some emotional state, and then I also have vocabulary. Anything I'm going to learn as vocabulary, I'm going to write it down. I'm thinking of creating maybe a database in my reading Notion page about new vocabularies. I can cycle through new vocabulary that I learned through reading. I think that might be a good idea. I need to figure out a way to copy my database for quotes and edit it out and change it into a database for vocabulary. But I need my laptop to do that. I'll do that another time, but I'm gonna start reading this